I'm Melanie Benfeld, and this is the Masters in Coaching and Exercise Science, Course 570, Sports Medicine and Performance. We're going to be doing the ankle tape to start. We're going to be starting with the heel and lace pads, one on the anterior side of the ankle and one on the posterior side of the ankle. The ankle is going to be in dorsiflexion.
As this is a demonstration, I've chosen not to use the heel and lace pads or pre-wrap. I've exposed the athlete's foot from the shin down, and I've started to place 2 anchors on the mid-shin, allowing for 50% overlap. Anchors start and finish on the top of the leg. The third anchor is placed on the foot, finding the notch in the middle of the foot, and then wrapping the anchor around, starting on the top and finishing on the top.
After the 3 anchors are in place, I'll be moving on to the stirrups, starting on the medial side, covering the malleolus of the ankle and finishing on the lateral side. As most ankle sprains are commonly inversion sprains, we want to be starting on the medial to pull the ankle into eversion. After the stirrup, you'll do a cover down to hold the stirrup in place. You'll add a second stirrup. Again, medial side to lateral side, pulling the ankle into eversion. Another cover down. And a final stirrup. So 3 stirrups in total. Finishing the cover down. Starting on the front of the foot, finishing on the front of the foot, following the angles of the ankle. After the cover down, ensuring the ankle is in dorsiflexion, moving into the heel lock. We'll be doing 4 in total, starting on the lateral side and finishing on the lateral side. And starting on the medial side and finishing on the medial side. One more time on the lateral side, around, down, and back up. And the final one starting on the medial side, going around, behind the heel, under the foot, and back up on top of the foot. After the heel locks, we'll be moving into our figure 8. So again, we're going to be starting on the top of the foot here, going under the foot, around behind the ankle, and finishing back where we started. And then finishing with our final cover-ups, ensuring that there is no windows, no skin exposed, and then closing the tape job, making sure that all of the ends are covered. And then up to the final anchor.
This is the arch tape job. Again, we could add pro wrap first for an athlete with sensitive skin or hair on the top of their foot. I'm going to be starting with elastic tape. We could be using the regular athletic tape as well if you don't have the elastic tape. I like to use it so that the forefoot still has room to move when planted. So we're going to start by placing an anchor. This is a tape job to support the arch. So we want to make sure that we're always pulling the arch up. We're never pulling the arch down. So we're going to start with the anchor, starting it on the top of the foot from the lateral side, and then pulling it around and finishing on the top of the foot, ensuring that we keep that arch supported. We're then going to take our regular 1.5 inch tape, rip it so that we have a 1/2 inch for the teardrops. We're going to start on the pad of the big toe. We're going to go around the heel and finish back where we started. And we're going to keep progressing along the foot, going around, and then finishing back where we started, trying to overlap the tape by 50% or halfway. Ensuring that we don't creep up onto the Achilles tendon, that we keep the tape job around that behind the heel. We'll continue with the teardrops until we have covered the entire base of the foot. Once we've done that, we're going to support with arch strips. Again, we're going to be starting on the lateral side and pulling the arch up, leaving the top of the foot open. And then we can finish with our elastic tape again, starting on the top of the foot, wrapping around, and then to finish we can go behind the foot and finish back on the top. So after we finish the tape job, we then want to make sure that we test for function and feel that the athlete is comfortable. Okay, we're going to be doing the buddy finger tape. We're going to take the injured finger and buddy it up with a longer finger to protect it. We'll start by cutting our tape, our 1.5 inch tape into a 1/2 inch piece. We're going to start the tape on the top of the injured finger, and we're going to squeeze it together, wrap it around 3 times for support. And then again, we want to make sure that we finish the tape job on the top so that when the athlete is trying to catch the ball, the tape doesn't unravel. We're then going to do the second part, so keeping that knuckle joint free for flexion and extension. And again, finish that on the top of the fingers. Making sure that they're still feeling and function, and the athlete can still use the hand. Okay, the shin tape. So we want to have the athlete with the foot in dorsiflexion and the knee bent. We want to locate the source of pain, which is most likely on the medial side. And I'll just make a marker there so that I understand where the pain is for the athlete. When we're doing the shin tape, we're going to be having quite steep angles, and we're going to start on the lateral side, and we're going to be pulling the calf to support on the medial side. Again, I'm not using pre-wrap for the demonstration, but if the athlete requested, or for skin irritations or hair, I could use pre-wrap. So again, starting on the lateral side, pulling medial. And I'd like to do 2 layers just for support. Starting lateral, pulling medial.
overlapping 50%. Then I want to assess for comfort and function, making sure that the circulation was not a problem for the foot. The wrist tape. Again, we would use pre-wrap if the athlete had sensitive skin or for the hair on the arm. So we're going to start with the athlete with the hand flexed. The wrist is in a neutral position. The fingers spread nice and wide so that the wrist has its full range of motion here. And the athlete's going to start by pressing their fingers into the taper's stomach or their chest. We're going to apply 2 anchor strips, 2 to 3 depending on the size of the athlete's hand and arm, on the wrist of the athlete. And then we're going to be moving through the hand. So starting on the top of the wrist here, we're going to be coming from the bottom of the hand up through the webbing of the thumb, making sure that we pinch here for the comfort of the athlete, and then going around. And as we come through here, we want to make sure we don't pull it too tight, so just holding on to it, then coming around the athlete's wrist and finishing back on the top. And again, we're going to be doing that twice, starting on the top, coming underneath the hand, pinch through the webbing, hold the tape in place, and finish back on the top. And then we finish with closing strips to keep the tape in place. And then ensuring the function, making sure that the wrist is nice and stable.